Namaste students, my name is JVN's Dr. Neeraj Dholia, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jyoti Vidyapi from University Jaipur. So today we are going to discuss a topic that is biomedical engineering, introduction and application of the medical biotechnology. And this belongs to the subject medical biotechnology. So let's start. So first of all, we have to, because this is the first lecture, so we have to understand what is the subject. The name of the subject is the medical biotechnology. Biotechnology, you are aware from the term biotechnology, it is made from two words, biology and technology. So the technology which is utilized in the biology is the biotechnology, and one prefix is added, that is the medical. So biotechnology applicable in the medical sciences. Okay, so uh, it is a challenge to improve the accuracy of the diagnostic and the treatment in clinical practices, which depends on the methods and technology in the biomedical science and the engineering. So to provide an opportunity for researchers and practitioners to exchange the most recent advances and future challenges in the field. So there are various examples of the biomedical engineering, and you can say the medical biotechnology, that the cochlear implants, the pacemaker, the artificial limbs, hip replacement, tissue engineering, angioplasty, and the MRI and the various diagnostic approaches. So these are the medical bioengineering. So in the biomedical engineering, there are various applications. So we will study there the applications one by one. So in the medical engineering, so it is the engineering utilized in the biomedical field. So in the engineering, we generally uh, study about the construction of buildings, construction of various machineries. Okay, so similarly in the biomedical engineering, we will study the different types of the machineries utilized in the biomedical field, different types of the implants, pacemakers, and the artificial tissues, stem cells. So these are the engineering utilized in the biomedical field. So let's understand one by one. So application, we will start with the first, that is the biomedical imaging. Okay, biomedical imaging means the images which we capture for the biomedical purposes, for the diagnostic purpose of, for example, the X-ray, the MRI, the ultrasound, etc. So in the biomedical engineering, there are few examples. First is the radiography, then MRI, then nuclear medicine, then ultrasound, ECG. Okay, so you are slightly aware about the things. Although we will study that in somewhat detail here. So first is the radiography. So what is radiography? It is basically a imaging technique, and the here we use specific rays, for example the X-rays, gamma rays, or different types of the ionizing radiations or non-ionizing radiations can be used to get the images of the internal objects in the body or in another thing. Okay, so applications of the radiography include the medical radiography. uh, it is used for the diagnostic purpose, for the therapeutic purpose, and in the industrial radiography is also applicable. Similar technique are used in the airport security. You have observed many times the body scanners are there, and they are generally the use the backscatter X-rays. So to create an image in the conventional radiography, a beam of X-rays is produced by the X-ray generator, and it is projected towards the object, and a certain amount of X-rays or the other radiations is absorbed by the object and dependent on the object's density and its structural composition. So the X-rays that pass through the object are captured behind the object by a detector. Okay, the detector may be a photographic film, it may be a digital detector. So the generation of flat or 2D images by this technique is called the projectional radiography. So one another scanning is there, that is the CT scan. That is the full form of the CT is the computed tomography. So computed tomography is an X-ray source and its associated detectors rotate around this the subject, which itself moves through the conical X-ray beam, and beam is produced. So CT scan is gives you a three-dimensional image because it is the principle is same as the X-ray, but the scanner rotates around the object here. Okay, that's why it gives us a 3D image. So another thing is the MRI, that you are also aware of the MRI. You have heard about this. So it is a medical imaging technique used in the radiology to form a picture of the anatomy and the physiological process of the body. So MRI scanners use the strong magnetic fields and magnetic fields gradients and radio waves to generate the images of the organs in the body. So because it does not involve the X-rays and use of the ionizing radiations, so it is pretty much safer. Okay, uh, it is the good replacement of the CT scan. So MRI is a medical application of nuclear magnetic resonance. So that can also be used for imaging in other MRI applications such as the NMR spectroscopy. While hazards of ionizing radiations are now well controlled in most medical contexts, and MRI may still be seen as a better choice than the CT scan. And MRI is widely used in the hospitals, in clinicals, in medical diagnosis, and the staging and follow-up of disease without exposing the body to the radiations. So compared to the CT scan, it is safer. Risk and discomfort may be associated because the machine is very big, and it compared to the CT scans. MRI scans typically take longer, and it is also louder technique. You feel noise around you, and they usually need the subject to enter a narrow and confining tube like structure. And in addition, people with some medical implants and other non-removable metal inside the body may be unable to undergo the MRI examination for the safety purpose, because it creates a magnetic field and that attracts the metal components. Okay, so MRI, it is the originally known as the NMRI, and means nuclear and magnetic resonance imaging, but nuclear was dropped to avoid the negative associations. So certain atomic nuclei are able to absorb the radio frequency energy, and when placed in an external magnetic field, the resultant evolving spin polarization can induce a radio frequency signal in a radio frequency coil and thereby be detected. So in clinical and research MRI, the hydrogen atoms are most often used to generate a macroscopic polarization, and that is directed by antennae close to the subject being examined. Okay, so that was about the MRIs. And nuclear medicine is also there. So it is the medical specialty involving the application of the radioactive substances in the diagnostic and the treatment of disease. So nuclear medicine imaging, in a sense, is radiology done inside out, or endoradiography. Okay, because it records the radiation emitting from within the body rather than the radiation that is generated by external sources like the X-ray. So in addition, nuclear medicine scans differ from radiology, and as the emphasis is not on imaging anatomy but on the function, for such regions it is called the physiological imaging modality. Single photon emission computed tomography, that is SPECT, and positron emission tomography, that is PET scans, are two most common imaging modalities in the nuclear medicines. So in nuclear medicine imaging, radio pharmaceuticals are taken internally. For example, injection of intravenous saline, or orally you can consume it. Then external detectors like the gamma cameras capture the form images from the radiation emitted by the radio pharmaceuticals. So this process is unlike a diagnostic X-ray, where external radiation is passed to the body to uh, form an image. Ultrasound is there, that is ultrasound is the sound waves that with frequencies higher than the upper audible limit of the human hearing. So ultrasound is not different from the normal audible sound, but its physical properties are same as the sound waves, except that the human cannot hear it. Okay, ultrasound devices operates at the frequencies from 20 kilohertz to the several gigahertz. So ultrasound is used in many different fields. The ultrasonic devices are used to detect the objects and measure the distances. And ultrasound imaging, or sonography, you say in the general words, is often used in the medicine. So it is non-destructive testing of products and the structures, and ultrasound is used to detect the invisible flaws, and it is also utilized in the industries. It is used to cleaning and for mixing and the accelerating the chemical processes. So animals such as bats and other uh, some of the other animals use the ultrasound for the locating prey and the obstacles. Okay, ECG. What is ECG? It is the echocardiography or echocardiogram. Okay, you can simply say the echo. So it is ultrasound of the heart. It is a type of medical imaging of the heart using the standard ultrasound or Doppler ultrasound. So echocardiography has become routinely used in the diagnosis, management, and the follow-up of patients with any suspected or non-heart disease. So it is one of the most widely used diagnostic tests in cardiology, and it can provide a wealth of helpful information, including the size and shape of the heart, their internal chamber size and quantification, pumping capacity, and the location of the extent of any tissue damage. So these are the applications of the echocardiography. Okay. So in the echocardiography, again, an echocardiogram can also give the physicians and other estimates of the heart function, such as the calculation of the cardiac output and the ejection fraction in the blood, which is ejected by the heart, total volume, and the diastolic function, and that is the how well the heart relaxes. Okay, echocardiography is an important tool in assessing wall motion and abnormalities in the patient with the suspected cardiac diseases, and it is a tool which helps in reaching an early diagnosis of myocardial infarction and showing the regional wall motion abnormality of the heart. And also it is important in treatment of and follow up in the patients with heart failure by assessing the ejection fraction. Okay, so some more information is remaining in this lecture, and we will study this in the next lecture. So hope you are satisfied with this detailed session, and if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment box. And this session is powered by digital version 2 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Jaipur. Thank you.